Hello, so today's column is about primers, and you wouldn't have found me doing this column or this video until this year, because primers have been around probably 5 or 6 years, and when they were launched people were mad for them. When I say people, beauty professionals were mad for them, so all the beauty editors were constantly raving about them. They were in magazines all the time, and makeup artists loved them. But I think most women didn't really know what they were for, where they slotted in, and what benefits they gave you. And alongside that, I actually believe they weren't very good. I tried loads when they came out, and they were so drying, and they just left a really horrible texture on my skin, and they tended to rub away as well, which is one of my worst things. When you put a skincare product on and then put your makeup on over the top, and it just kind of goes into little balls like Copydex glue or something. I hate it. And lots of them did that. So I was really put off them for a long time, and I also kind of believe that there is such a thing as a step too many. I already cleanse and use serum and use moisturiser and sometimes sunblock as well, so it just seemed really extreme to me. However, I have come back to them this year, and they have come on so much. They're a completely different product to what they were before. Basically, what a primer does is it keeps your makeup in place all day. So it makes your makeup last longer and look fresher for longer. So that's the one thing it does. The other thing it does is it creates a smooth surface on your skin. So ostensibly your skin looks like it's better for real, when in fact you've just got this layer of primer that's sort of smoothing things out. It's a little bit like a polyfiller, a little bit. It sort of evens the texture and the colour before you put your makeup on, so you look as though you're putting makeup on more flawless skin than your skin naturally is. So it does those two things, and it goes on after your moisturiser and before your foundation. So you would do cleanser, serum, moisturiser, primer, foundation. You can also put primer on underneath tinted moisturiser, that's fine too. Although I don't do this, and the reason I don't put it under tinted moisturiser is I wear tinted moisturiser every day, and I just wear foundation when I'm going out at night. And for me, I just feel life's too short for primer every day. I can't be bothered to add another step into my skincare routine. However, if I'm going out at night and I need my makeup to last all day and it still needs to look fresh at going out time, or if I have sort of really important meetings where I really need to look my best, then I really swear by primer now. There are some really amazing ones out there. So I'm just going to show you a few and then show you how you put it on. So my long-term hatred of primer was cured by one product this year, and it completely set me off on a roll. So it's Smashbox. Look, it's half gone. I love it so much. Smashbox Photo Finish Hydrating Primer, which is oil-free. Now, I was in New York on business, and Smashbox told me about this primer, which wasn't yet out. And they gave me some to try, and I said, I'll hate it. I hate primers. They make my skin so dry. My skin's really dry and dehydrated anyway. I thought it'll never work. I tried it, and it was the first primer I had ever tried that left my skin really hydrated and moist, but still clung on to the makeup in the way that a primer's meant to. And off the back of that, then I started to look into primers, modern primers some more, and tried a load more. So if you have dehydrated skin, I can't recommend this enough. It's amazing, amazing product. It's completely restored my faith in primers. And if you have dry skin, the chances are you may have ruled out primers in the past thinking they're not for me, they make my skin feel terrible. This will not. It's amazing. Smashbox, for me, kind of own primers. They're so good at primers. All of them are really good. This is a really great one. Photo Finish Luminizing, which I also put in the column. It has a sort of slightly bronzy tint to it, but because it goes under your foundation, that tint acts as sort of, it peeps through the foundation more than colours your skin. It just sort of gives an iridescence and a glow to your skin. And I found this was lovely, really nice on older skins. And for anybody who likes something like the Laura Mercier Illuminated Tinted Moisturiser, for example, as I do, this is the same sort of effect. It kind of gives you that halo effect. Some other ones I wanted to show you that I thought were really great. Nip and Fab Sheer Makeup Fix. This is a primer and a BB cream, which you've probably read me talking about before. You can just get this in Boots. It's £15, which I think is pretty reasonable. And it's a completely clear primer, as most primers are actually. Most primers aren't tinted. It's completely clear. But it's very velvety, and it does what I was saying before. It just sort of evens out the surface of your skin and creates a kind of velvety finish before you put your makeup on. I liked that one a lot. If you have oily skin, there's a good chance that primer is the product for you, because very often with oily skin, your makeup kind of goes on the move throughout the day because there's too much oil on the surface, and it causes foundation and so on to migrate. And a primer can be a really good way of not only clinging on to the makeup, but also creating a nice smooth matte surface. You need to make sure you get an oil-free primer for this. Nars does a very good one. In fact, lots of primers are oil-free because they tend to use kind of silicones and so on instead of oil to make them slippy. So it's generally very easy to find one. And you can also get primers with an SPF in it. There's one in the column with an SPF of 30 or 50, I think, I can't remember. It had a very, very high SPF, which is brilliant because it takes away a step as you're adding a new one with the primer. And that tested brilliantly. It was very, very good by Cover FX. Not all primers are expensive though. I mean, you can pick one up from Marks and Spencer's, for example. This one was £9.99, I think, from Marks and Spencer's. Very, very good. There's another one I tested for the column, which I really like, DHC, Japanese company. I think that was less than £10. The important thing is that you're happy with the texture and it's right for your skin. So I'm going to take one now that's right for my skin, and I'm going to show you how you use them. It couldn't be simpler. It's a 2-minute job. So I'm going to take, shall I do the hydrating one? Yeah. So this is the hydrating one that I love so much. You want a sort of that much, I would say. You can always go back and get a little bit more. Now, the secret with primer is to not rub or massage into your face. You just stroke it, slip it over your face. It's so light in texture that if you start, and it sort of dries as well, that if you start rubbing it in, it sort of does that kind of Pritt stick thing and it all comes away. You just want to stroke it. So after your moisturiser, before your makeup, you just take your middle finger and you just stroke it over your face, literally like that. Don't start getting involved with rubbing it in. It's not a moisturiser, it's not a skincare product primer, it's not. Although it's there to improve the texture of your skin, it's not really a skincare product. It has no lasting effects on your skin. It's really more of a cosmetic. And you just stroke it all over your face. No rubbing. And you can do your eyes too, although you can also use an eye primer if you really have problems with eyeliner staying where it's supposed to stay. And you can even go over your lips as well. It couldn't be simpler. You really don't want to mess with it too much. You really don't want to, it's what the beauty industry calls playing. You don't want too much playtime because it dries quite quickly and you want it to dry quickly and you don't want to make it bobbly. Leave it for, I don't know, maybe 20 seconds and it dries, as I say, very, very rapidly. And you'll know, you can kind of feel it as it's dried. Then it couldn't be simpler. You get your foundation, in my case Suku, that's just the one I use, but whatever your favourite foundation is fine. Primer works, incidentally, primer works underneath any consistency of foundation. Liquid, cream, stick, powder, anything. And then your foundation just goes over the top and it goes on smoothly. And what it's done there is it's just created a moist base, but not greasy. It's clinging onto the foundation and the foundation will stay there for as long as I want it there. So when you're happy with your foundation over your primer, you then add your concealer as normal. And you will just find, I think anyway, you'll find that your foundation just slips onto your face better. There's less rubbing, there's less it's sinking into cracks because it's going over this very smooth base that the primer has created for you. Pop your concealer on, bit of powder, Bob's your uncle. So that's primers. Don't fear them, they've come on an awfully long way. Just bear in mind that you need to find the right one for your skin. I have chosen 6 for the column, and I deliberately chose them to suit all different skin types. There should be one for you there. And the application, as you just saw, couldn't be simpler, and I'm convinced that you will see results from them. And don't feel like you have to use them every day. I don't. Life's too short. I'd love to, ideally, but you know, who's got the time? But I do think if you have a special occasion like a wedding or a party, or you've got an endless day of meetings and you've still got to look great at 8 o'clock at night, then a primer is an absolute lifesaver in this context. Really, really great. So do give them a try in those instances. Thanks very much for watching, and I will answer your questions, hopefully, in the comments section. Thanks.